Hello everyone, so I just finished my first draft of Arena Open. I went 7-1, so I'm really happy about that because I only practiced like 2 days before the tournament, so I didn't have that much experience. I did another video yesterday with blue-green. Even though I had like the best rare, the frog, and 2 uncommons, the deck wasn't great. So at least I found out that blue-green was bad. Let's just look at my deck. Oh, before we look at the deck, I should maybe talk about the Open a little bit. I decided to play best of 1 for a couple of reasons. I think it's faster overall, like in a traditional one. If you lose a second time, I think you're out, like, I don't know, it just makes more sense to me to play day 1. A lot of people say that it's better. Overall, it takes like a less time, and I also only played like best of 1 drafts, so I didn't really have a practice with traditional ones. I'm not actually even sure whether tomorrow is traditional one or no. Day 2 event will... Yeah, tomorrow is traditional one, so maybe I should have played the traditional one to practice a little bit. Anyway, I played best out of 1. Worked out. The Arena Opens are awesome. I think at the beginning they did like one every 3 months or something, but now they do it more often. And it's like a nice substitute for GPs. Obviously it doesn't have the same feeling because you're just at home. But in the Corona age, it's definitely better than, you know, not having anything. It gives you that vibe of playing for something important, at least a little bit, which is pretty cool. And yeah, I didn't play the previous one or maybe even the one before that, but I played the one in September, the one in Historic, and I actually managed to win 2000, so hopefully that will happen tomorrow as well. Obviously they tax you, so it's not actually 2000, but it was still nice. So there was a little bit of hint that I have this guy. So I opened this guy, which made it pretty straightforward for me. I was like a little bit worried that Black White's going to be completely closed, and then I'm just gonna get screwed because of my first pick. It wasn't necessarily like that opened from what I've seen in the pack. Like the last 5 picks or whatever always had like green or blue cards. Maybe that's the case for all the drafts because people just kind of know that those colors are bad. Like green is good with red. The problem with green is that if you start with green colors, green cards, and then red isn't opened, you're just gonna end up with a bad deck. So usually the best way to get into red-green is to, like, start with red cards, and then you see that green is open as well, and then you go into red-green, because red-green is actually really good. I'm not actually even sure what's better between black-white and red-green. Like, one of these two is certainly the best second archetype, the best one being red-black in my opinion. But black-white is definitely really good, so let's just look at my deck a little bit, because that might give you an idea of how to draft black-white. There's like a lot of really cool synergies. So for example, look at this Blood Servitor. That card seems kind of bad. Like, it seems like a card you don't really want to put into your deck. It's a colorless 2/2 common, so it just seems unexciting. But it does actually a lot. Like, the blood tokens are really good with these 3 cards, because you can just discard them to it. You know, sometimes you don't need a 2/2, so you can just discard it to kind of get a 2-for-1. And it also powers up all of your other blood cards, like this guy and stuff like that. Also, like, black-white kind of tends to just kind of trade on resources and then eventually win a late game in a lot of the games. So just playing a 2/2 that can maybe trade for something and then have a blood token is also not that bad. And it works well with this dollhouse. Like, any creature that does something besides being a creature, like, you know, this minister, these guys that make blood tokens, like this guy, are really good with this. I was actually really impressed with this card. It might not be as good in other archetypes, though I still think you should always play it, because it's just a powerful late game card. But specifically in black-white, where you have cards like, you know, these that just like do something on their own, the fact that they're 1/1s at the beginning doesn't really matter. And it has, I actually didn't know that in one of the games, it gives the creature haste as well. So you can, for example, bring back this guy and immediately use it. You can get back this guy and attack for free. Really strong card. Another card that I would like to point out is this. Like, this often comes as the last pick or whatever, but I actually think it's insane in a black-white deck, especially with this guy. I have 3 of these. So I just the last match I played against Boros, it seemed like I could never win. I was on low life totally. He had more creatures, but I was just able to have like this guy with this and this. I just put this on it, gave it lifelink, and gained like 8 life. 2 turns in a row because I had 2 of these and just raised him. So definitely don't sleep on this card. It's really good. Like, it just draws you a card, it replaces itself, and the effect is huge. Like, if you have vampires in your deck, giving your creature lifelink and unblockable is actually really strong. I'm not a huge fan of this like removal spell or like expensive cards in general because of blood tokens. You kind of want to stop on maybe like 4 or 5 lands and then just like discard your excess lands. So, you know, the expensive cards are a little bit worse because of that. You only see the 2 of these, but it's still a removal spell. I have only a downfall and this, and I don't even know what I would play over it. So like if I had like, you know, 2 more pacifisms or something, I wouldn't play it, but I don't, so I think having one of this is fine. And yeah, this card is also insane. I think everyone kind of knows it right now. It's like a healer's hawk, might be even better than that. Like, on its own, it's already good, but if you have synergies, like it's insane with this guy, you can just play this turn 1, turn 2, you already make a blood token. It's good with all the lifelink creatures. I don't actually have neither one of the... I don't have the black 2/2 lifelink or the white 2/3 lifelink, but it's good with those as well. And yeah, I think my deck was kind of perfect. Obviously, you know, if I could change like a couple of cards, I would do so, but the deck was insane. I went 7-1, and I'm hoping to repeat that tomorrow. So hopefully you will see another video tomorrow with me like talking about my deck that I want to K with. And see you then. I might talk about it even if I lose. So let's see you tomorrow. I guess let's just click on the reward before we finish things up. Nice. Bye.